Mike Comtech coming to you here with another video. We are going to do a modification on the First Mate bottle. We're going to add the mask here, and I'm going to add to the story of First Mate as he's found a magical bottle of potion. So we're gonna, this is kind of a like a neat little scary little mask that I found. It's ceramic, and it just kind of adds to the prop. And I want to put 3 LEDs in each eyeball, and we're going to do this live. So if I fail, everybody will see me do that. So that's just the way it goes. That's live TV. But I want to put a yellow, a green, and a blue, and it's going to fade. And of course that comes on when the prop comes on each eye. I was going to hot glue those in. The hot glue accepts on that on the back of this ceramic base of this mask really well, so it adheres to it really good. So I've already did a test here, and it sticks real well. So, and that's good, because I want it to do that. I don't want it to peel off later, so I want to get rid of some of this excess that I built up earlier, and then get rid of some of this. There we go. But what, I mean, like I said, he's got a treasure chest with him. And I mentioned in the last video that I repaired the skull jaw. The jaw on the skull wasn't working. It worked, and then it quit working, and the wire came off because the gyration motion of that head, they had too much tension on the wire. Well, anyway, you'd have to watch the other video to get the full scope of what I said there. But this, like I said, on the bottle, and I've already lined up, there was a couple holes here for straps, but I used those for screws. We're going to screw that right onto here like that, and this kind of adds a mystic, magical effect to the bottle of mystical magical potion that he found. And then going to do a bunch of stuff to the treasure chest as well. That'll be later on in subsequent videos down the line. So let's get to it. Let's see if we can get these. Let's see if we can burn my fingers and whatever doing this. Oh yeah, by the way, the controller that I'm using is a this one is an LED RF RGB controller, and it is the remote control is RF, so it's RF wireless. So you do not have to be pointing it right at it. And there's several modes to this, and this is available on Amazon, but this is a little controller. And it works from anywhere from 5 to 24 volts, and then there's all different, like I say, different functionality on that remote. But I like the fading. Then you can try different things. But we're going to line these 3 LEDs up. So I'm going to put a blue in the corner, and over here I'm going to put like a green in the corner, and put the yellows in the center, like a center upper, like up here in the top part of the eye. Kind of have it fade between the 3. May look like the head's looking right, looking left, looking up, that kind of thing. We'll see what it does. All we can do is try it. But that's what I use, and then I put a since we're dealing with 5.9 volts on these props, I put a like you saw me do on the Dean bottle modification, I put 200 ohms in here. So I put 2 100 ohm resistors in series, and that gives me 200 ohms and a half a watt of power dissipation. And believe me, you're not anywhere near that. I'm looking at the my variable power supply right now, and when 2 of these LEDs are kind of ramped at the same time, we're pulling a whole whopping 20 milliamps. So this little circuit here is not going to load up the output of the controller on First Mate, so shouldn't be a problem driving that. I've never run into any kind of a problem with doing that. So I think I'll take this little stand off of that, so I can be totally free here. And then we're going to power down. Get me a nap. You don't need to see the paper towel. I want to power this down, so we can unhook this stuff, and then we'll wire it up. Probably be like one of these continuation things. I'll do a little bit, come back, show you what I've done, continue on, so, and that sort of thing. So we got a green, a yellow, blue, and I need to grab another yellow LED, it looks like. So I need to grab one. I got one right here. Grab one of the yellow ones out of here. Here we go. These are yellow. These are rated at 2.2 volts, but when we drop that with the 200 ohms, then we get, you know, kind of below that. But these are really nice, still nice and bright. You know, we're not cutting it back by any means. It's still a good bright LED, but we're not overdriving the LED. That's the main thing. Don't overdrive. Whatever your different colored LEDs are rated at, because every color is rated at a certain voltage. And then what you want to do is calculate the resistor bank that you would need to drop the current and put it within that voltage range, and the LEDs will last and last and last. You know, they won't just burn themselves out over time. It can take a while, depending on how much, but it can definitely goof them up. So I'm going to try. We'll put just a little bit of hot glue in the corner here, just a little bit. We'll see what that does. Get my LED and kind of pull that up so I get the excess out, and just kind of lay that right in there like that. So that LED sits kind of like that, and then it looks, see it there in the corner right here. So that's the blue one. So on the other side, what I want to do, oh yeah, nice and solid. And we'll get rid of the strings. Oh, I love hot glue, don't like the strings, but we get rid of all the strings. So that's good right there. And we'll clean that up. Now we're going to put since we got a blue one in this corner, I may have to touch that up just a little bit more. Put just a little more right here to solidify that. Put some right here. Doesn't have to be really super pretty back here, just as long as it's secure. And I don't want to get too much. If you kind of build it up around the eye, it won't hurt anything, because it's going to refract anyway. That's going to refract the light, the LED from the light from the LED. All right, so we got a blue one there. So let's put a green one on the other side, and I'll put the anode. And there's no preference, but I'll put the anode to the inside. This little controller uses a common positive, so the triangle is a positive output. And then so I put the dropping resistors on the positive side or the negative side. Oh, I'm sorry. Actually, the triangle is the negative output on that. It's not a positive output, it's negative. And then I put a dropping resistors in the negative line, and that protects every LED that I would use on that. Try to keep that straight while that glue is setting up. Pointing outward. Let that set up a little bit before I hit the other side. like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's going to be, it's mystical. It should look, you know, creepy. That's what I want to say. That's the whole idea. That's the high idea of a prop, to be creepy. Somebody says, oh, that's creepy. Well, that's good. That means you did a good job. If somebody says, oh, that sure is creepy, well, that's perfect. That's the compliment. Even though they, you know, they may or may not like it or say that, but it's a compliment basically. Okay, so let's, that looks good there. I gotta kind of hurry because I got the glue gun unplugged. Take a while for it to cool down. So we'll hit this side over here with some glue here, solidify that. Wipe that off and get my string out. Okay, so we got green over here, got blue over here, and we'll put the other ones in the other corner. So let's see, we got blue over here. Now we got to go green in the other corner. Do this left-handed. Okay, let's see what we got here. It'll look, should look creepy, that's for sure. Okay, now I can shoot some more hot glue, get rid of my string. Shoot some more hot glue now right here on this front. Get that around there. Still good and plenty hot. Okay, so if we got blue, green, and I want to put blue on the inside over here. On the inside. And then that controller is small enough. Everything is I'm gonna wire everything right here in this little ceramic mask. And then all it's gonna leave here are 2 wires from the supply side here back to that. I'm gonna tap into the First Mate's LED eyeball that fires up the LED eye. I'm gonna tap into that, because that, every time the prop ramps up, then that eye comes on. And that's where I want to tap the power from. Right there. Okay, let's see. Let's angle this down a little bit. Got a little time to work with it. This may look pretty neat. Because, you know, each eye is slanted over a little bit, so they're not symmetrical across. They're not perfect, so that's the way it is. And then that adds to the creepy effect. And now I hit that right here with some more glue. I think we're getting just a tad bit cold. And on the yellow ones, And the reason why I'm doing 3 colors like that, because that controller, we already have red eyes in the top, so I don't want to repeat that again. I don't like to try to mix up the colors a little more. There's 3 channel outputs on this controller, so I wanted to use 3 sets of LEDs. Then we can rotate between all 3. So this one, I think, let's see, will it look better low or high? Let's see, it might look, I have to hit that green one a little more. It's wanting to be a little cantankerous. Hit this again. I'll beef that up a little. Well, let's see. High or low? Tell you something else that sets up hot glue really quick is if you got a can of air. Hit that blue one again too. That blue one could use a little bit right back here. A can of air will do it too. That works really well. Gonna wire these things up. Got anodes on the right here, got anodes on the left on this side. We'll, of course the leads will be shortened. I'll shorten those up, but okay, I want to make sure these are fairly solid here before I go shooting the yellow ones in there. All right, let's go anode. Anode's the long lead on the LED. Up or lower? Lower or up? Let's see. Lower. Be nice to be center, but I have no way to. Yeah, center doesn't look very good. I think up looks better. Okay, let's try this. Here we go. Scoot him over. I was toying with the idea of putting a mask, like a black, something black in here and mounting them on that, but if I might be able to fill that in with, just absolutely fill that in with glue, and then that would actually reflect even more, it would reflect more of the coloring around, perhaps. The hot glue I'm using is It's kind of stays a little flexible after it dries. It's clear, and actually it's works well with steel, metal to metal. Even done that before. Okay, let's see. See if we can't get that one in here. Okay. This is probably starting to cool down, and the effectiveness of the glue. Anodes to the right. Just kind of thought it would maybe give a little bit of neater effect. Yeah, I might want to try to do that. I'm going to plug that. Okay, we're going to plug that in. All right, I'm going to break off here a little bit. Break off here for just a little bit, and I'm going to see if I can't fill this whole area in. So I shall return.
1 minute later.
Okay, we're back. I was just doing some checking and see if I could fill in the hole. Actually, we can. I'm going to go ahead and build this up a little bit at a time so I can get a layer. And I'm going to coat, go in between the LEDs here. We'll build a layer. Build a layer in here, and that will be a like a lens for the eye. And then I'm going to take some black acrylic paint, and not only that, it will solidify it. And I'll take some black acrylic paint and dope this whole area, paint this whole area around the eye here. And then that way it will, when you look at it from the front, when it's not lit up, it'll just be black. It'll come right, just like the eyes are. They painted it black around the rim of the eye there. So basically that puts a raft of hot glue all the way around the eye. Now I'm going to hold it up, back this LED back in here just a little bit since it's warm. Now's the time to do it. Move it over just a tad. Push it back. Like I say, now's the time to do it, because see how solid these are? These babies are solid over here now. You can almost play a tune on the leads when you strum them. That's how solid they are. Okay, let's push this guy in just a little more. I'm a little picky. All right, let's bring it up some more too. Get that up. There we go. Okay, and I'll clean this up, clean that excess up around here a little bit. But we got all the anodes on the left over here, all the anodes on the right. It's just easier to wire that way, because a lot of these they'll be branched together, because this output is is actually negative, So all the cathodes will hook together anyway. All these cathodes will hook together, be on this channel, on this common channel. But they'll all feed through that 200 ohm bank of resistors. And like I said, once I'm going to do all the wiring in this mask, so everything will be contained here, and only 2 wires will leave here and go up the arm on first mate and then hook into that LED output that runs the eyeball in the skull on first mate. And then so when the prop comes on, this comes on. And the beautiful thing about that controller is however you have it set, apparently it's got some non-volatile memory in it because it remembers where it was. So if it's powered off and you power it back on, it comes back exactly how you set, what mode you had it in, and what the speed was, everything. That would be a pain in the you-know-what if that controller, if it defaulted back to some, flash pattern that you didn't want. That would be a pain in the you-know-what. Anyway. Okay, we got everything starting to cool down. So, and you can see through those, you can see my yellow, yeah, see that? You can see my yellow microfiber towel, but I'm going to paint that opaque black back here. And then, since this is sealed, no paint will come up through here. You won't have to worry about any paint leaking out. Everything is totally sealed. If I check it against the light, it is sealed. That actually should hold water. If I put water on here on the top, that should hold water. Okay, we're going to break away again. I'm going to do a little bit of wiring here, and then we'll be back.
1 minute later.
Okay, we're back again. I did a little wiring, and I'm going to finish up the last connection. There's no sense of burning up time and everything for me to do the same redundant thing over and over and over. So I'll do the last connection. Getting ready to put in the last connection, but I wanted to show you a little trick. Like for instance, I need to join these 2 leads right here. Get it close up. Need to join that one and then this last LED right here. So my little trick is I take my wire strippers and I strip back, pull the insulation back, and that'll stretch that just a little bit. So now I can come in here and then I can pull it to where I want it, and then I'll wrap it once, come around and bring it like that, and I'll solder that connection right there. It makes a nice, neat one connection point, and you got a fairly nice mechanical connection there too as well. So let's go ahead and we'll solder that. Like that. And then we'll cut off our excess. Just like that. So there you got a nice, neat connection, and then we got to come over here to the last lead, that one right here. So I'll kind of measure this up. Trying to keep this as low profile as possible because we're probably going to have to do a little trimming on the bottle itself. We got a crown right here, so we're probably going to have to cut into this a little bit because all this still has to fit. I want that to fit pretty much as flush as I can get it. We'll have to see once we get to that point. We'll see what it does. So what I have to do is find out the pattern I want on the controller, also on the firing order of the LEDs as well. So it's like producing a light show in a way, because it's you have LEDs, that's fine and dandy, but it's how you move them, how you flash them, the sequence of what's going on, how you're doing that is the is the whole art of the whole thing. Yeah. Boy, coming back on the air here and I'm soldering like an idiot. There we go. Now we got it. Okay. Yeah. So getting the and there's a and a multitude of patterns. So if I ever want to change the pattern, this is an art, like I was telling you before, this is an RF controller. And so it does not need a line of sight to be able to interact with it. It's going to be inside this mask, so it's definitely not going to have a any kind of an optical port, to look through for a infrared sensor to look through. So that's not going to be very well received. So yeah, why use the RF ones? The only problem with the RF ones is if you have, here's the wiring here. If you have another one just like it, you're going to control them both at the same time, because I think there is a way to address them separately. So here's the way it looks inside, how it's all wired up, and here's how it looks: center, left, right, center, left, right. And then we can take the remote here, and then I can speed it up, slow it down, whatever. But I want it fairly slow, about like that. So that way, if you got it, and I know the camera makes the LEDs look a little hot. Blue ones. So anyway, now the next thing I want to do is fit it onto the bottle and see what we got to do to trim it. So I shall return on that as well.
1 minute later.
Okay, we're back. We're wired up. It's mounted onto their bottle, and it is ready to put back on First Mate. But I will have to make a wiring harness for it. So put a little jewel here on top. I didn't have a cork. And then we gave him a wild hairdo there. That's going to look pretty sharp, isn't it? Pretty wicked, scary, freaky, creepy, whatever you want to call it. That's what I'm after. But anyway, that turned out pretty good. That's what it looks like here. And then this goes back on the First Mate prop. And then this, like I said, this will activate when the First Mate prop is running. So this is all hot glued on, and there was a hole here because this is a Mardi Gras mask. So there was a hole here, probably like the little ribbons came out here, and then there was one over here too. So basically, I put jewels in right there to cover that up, kind of mask that off. Put the hairline there, and then put a big wad of glue straight down because that's where that controller was. So hopefully this thing doesn't fail, because it's going to be a pain to change. But I will show you once it's all completed and hooked up, and I'll show you the little wiring harness I'm going to make. I'm not going to cut any of the original wiring on First Mate, but I'm going to make an adapter, a pull-off adapter, so we can power this off those two, let's see, the power plugs. The normal power plugs you have on like on this power supply. I can't remember how many millimeters those are. I'd have to look that up. But anyway, I shall return.
1 minute later.
Okay, here's the wiring harness that I made for First Mate. Like I said, I was not going to disturb any of the original wiring. So then this will plug into the lighting circuit for the head. It's a male. So we'll put a female here, and then this is going to reconnect that connection back down to the control box. It was a female, so I put a male. And these two are for the future. One of these is going to drive the mask on the bottle. Actually, what I want to call a potion bottle And so we can do that with that connector. And then this other connector will be one that we'll do here. Let me pan over here. We'll do with the treasure chest. So the treasure chest, I'm going to do some stuff too, so it will require power. So we'll have to come, you know, up the arm here with wire, just like I did with this one here. Move that out of the way. I'll show you here. So I ran the wire up inside the first mate's be the right arm, so that's all nice and loose in there. And then we're going to put a connector here, put a set of these connectors right here, so I can have a quick disconnect. Because otherwise, if you want to take this off, break it down or whatever, take it off, you need to have a way to do that without having to pull that wire all the way up back through there and do all that. That would be a pain. So we're going to do it this way to run the magical potion bottle. And then this, like I say, this will be then I won't have to cut into any of the original factory wiring. We'll just do it like this, and I stagger it like this, so then you don't have a glom of cable that you have to organize. That way you can kind of lay it flatter. Anyway, we'll be coming back to show you what it looks like when I get it hooked up on the bottle part.